AM, 2 items can easily just take over the game, especially against the Storm Spirit. Eventually, you're gonna need to get a Lincoln Sphere, because you might kill your own team, something that you don't want to do unless you're griefing.
So then we're relying on these Storm Spirit timings around his items, the Lifestealer Infest bombs to try and catch out individual targets with the Lion and the help that they have there. Kind of use the Timbersaw as bait, potentially, to get themselves out of that laning stage.
This is a pretty popular support duo, mostly in Southeast Asia. I see that CIS also loves it with the Enchantress plus Alliance, so let me just check what they're doing. If they're planning on tri-laning Gary, or if they just want to play it normal.
All right, get ourselves into game 2 here. It's best of 2, as it looks like for now. BGZ wandering up towards top with the Lion there as well, but this is more indicative of them potentially securing those bounty runes early on, and they've left the Lifestealer alone down bottom for now.
Maybe they showed him bottom on purpose, so they think, you know, Lifestealer's bottom, no aggressive tri-lane. I love Enchantress Lion, I love Tuscan, potentially aggressive tri-lane, so let's see what they decide to go for. Someone's drawing on a mini-map, it's brown.
And that Lifestealer is moving. Dream, like you said, made that swing from bottom lane back in towards mid. Might even consider sniping out this little bounty rune at the bottom spot. And he's waiting down there. We might get 3 for Gambit. He runs up towards RR, and Bloodright is going to zone him away. And Dream misses out on it, so just going to be the... Oh, it's not a 2 for 2. Look at that little sneak out from BDZ. Grabs the 3rd one for Execration.
The reason why I wanted to see an aggressive tri-lane is you get your mana burn as a Timbersaw, then you really don't put any pressure on the AM. It's also anti-mage plus Warlock, which means that he's going to be full HP, can afford to blink in aggressively, burn your mana, and then the lane is kind of done. Of course, he's going to buy that Soul Ring. Anti-mage also, like, you burn Lion, he might get the mana drain back. Warlock starting with... very interesting build, just getting the Fatal Bonds level 1.
Yeah,
connecting on the full creep wave and 2 heroes.
Shove the wave, try and get level 2 a bit faster, put that pressure on. Palos taking a bit of damage there from the Whirling Death level 1 out of Afterlife, as he does lose his courier in the meanwhile also. Lion has his work cut out for him, like you said, the sustain from RR's Warlock here, definitely difficult to deal with, especially when he gets that with the points up in the Shadow Word.
He blocked a small camp. RR will be able to deward that immediately.
Very nicely done. So they'll be able to drag that wave back and reset it. Anti-mage can get healed up when they hit level 2, which is pretty shortly. And like you mentioned, they've burnt through Afterlife's mana pool. He's got nothing left. He's half HP. He's looking a little worse for wear up in that top lane. A good start for Execration there. We're going to take a peek into some of these other lanes, because mid, that Storm Spirit, 10 and 3, up against the Leshrac, who is at 2 and 0 low cost.
Storm Spirit gets level 3 faster and start playing aggressively, has his bottle coming up to him, rune spawning in 15 seconds. Yaoi just needs 1 extra CS to get that bottle.
Is that what we expect, though? Such a drastic difference in CS between the 2 mid laners. 7 last hits difference there. Lauren having a cracking start.
It shouldn't be that bad. It's just that the Leshrac misplayed it. He gave him level 3 faster. Storm Spirit. I was focusing on top, but I can only imagine what happened. We go back to the bottom lane, talk a bit about it. BZZ finally gets a creep. Stun on a Lifestealer, gets a point in rage, something that you don't want to get early on, especially when you play against the 2 melee heroes. BDZ did a good job blocking off the small camp with the sentry and just body blocking the big camp. So you know that he's gonna keep doing that. So Enchantress can get the big.
You have to make sure Ench doesn't get that momentum from the early laning stage. I see Storm just continuing that race forward, doubling up on the CS of the Leshrac. Water runes coming as well, so he'll be able to refill his bottle.
Well, maybe you also need some water, Gary, huh?
Yeah, absolutely do.
Pick up that water rune.
Get the water rune, reset my throat. Down bottom. Nico being run at. Ench can't quite get the body blocks there onto the Bloodseeker, so he'll tango back up. And there's that top lane, Palos. Anti-mage. Trying to get it onto Emergent. Can't stick on the target, though. Just going to have to rely on that heal and sustain for the Warlock as a nice double wave comes back in towards his tower.
He has enough money to buy a ring. Courier not there, also lane pushing, so that means that he's not going to be able to get it anytime soon.
And Fatal Bonds are messing up his last hits on the tower a little bit there as well, annoyingly enough for Palos. We'll see what he gets up to and where he picks up that ring of health.
Warlock has healing salve. That's what you need to have as a position 5. Just bring some regen for your carry. Lifestealer on the bottom lane. CSing nicely, 16 CS, 14 on a Bloodseeker, going Mana Boots first item. Not sure I like it. Mana Boots got a buff in terms of gold.
Yeah,
how much
cheaper.
you need to spend it, but
Stupendous.
Rush,
So what is it?
I don't think it's needed. You know, just bring a Mango, bring possibly a Clarity. Maybe your position 4 gets a Bassi.
Interesting. Does that indicate he wants to go Greaves later on?
Radiant's courier has been killed.
And into Atos? Does he
I don't know, Gary. I'm a bit baffled by this decision, to be honest.
bamboozled by the Mana Boots? Great 2-man turnaround stun from the AM with that little counter spell there. I've got the Fatal Bonds ticking away in Afterlife and Immersion.
Oh, he's missing a lot of CS on AM. Actually didn't get any of the 3 because of the Fatal Bonds.
Yeah, they're mashing up with it.
Yeah. Click the scoreboard, the stable health from Warlock.
That's not going to work. Well, he's still up there, 23 and 5, so he's not struggling too much. He can't do that much damage back to Timber now. He's lost all his mana. Well, mid lane, Yoe trying to get on top of Lorinov. Storm Spirit still plenty of regen and HP to play around with in that mid spot.
That Mana Boots will give them mana. Nice.
Well, will it?
Yeah, it will. So they can spam their spells.
How surprising. And Palos picks up his Ring of Health over that top secret shot. So he's got even more staying power in that top lane. Afterlife, obviously he's got mangoes, he's ready to fight if need be. Might pop a couple of here just to try and get that damage onto the anti-mage. And he holds out. So far, you know, not too bad for the Timber Saw. This Lion's definitely helped him out, and they're not bleeding away any kills. That's the most important thing. No one's feeding. No one's giving anything away. And top lane, again, the counter spell back onto the Lion. Palos really is on top of that. And Warlock just gonna get the pull across. Bottom lane. I think they're trying to get in towards that Nyx Assassin and the Bloodseeker. Dream. And just going to whack out Nico, get him away from that lane. Got a Harpy there for the BZZ Enchantress, and like you've been saying, they've been blocking up these camps. There's Storm Spirit. He's hit level 6 and goes onto your way, but a TP rotation arriving now from the Warlock. The
Fire available. Gonna be a return kill.
He's got the ball on, even not enough mana to get the distance. The Pulse Nova and First Blood grabbed up by Lashrak.
Warlock is not even needed. All he needed to do is pop a stick, a bottle, Fairy Fire, not even used. Like, he's not respecting the damage coming out from Lashrak.
Illusion.
Lashrak is one of the heroes that got insane buffs over the couple of patches where his alt AoE is 500. It's like attacking people pretty much, so you can run them down. Before, I believe it was like 350. You need to be on top of him.
Now it's real nice. They're trying to stay around in that mid lane. They brought Dream in here to defend the tower against the Lesh with that Diabolic Edict. So a movement which they felt was necessary as Gambit ditched the bot lane.
They needed to bring someone. Timbersaw does not have enough mana. Maybe if he pops a Mango, can rotate to the mid lane. This leaves Enchantress on the bottom to collect some of the XP.
And now Dream's got that long walk back down towards bottom lane. Well, at least he's got the phase boot, so he will wobble himself down back to that tier 1 area. And Yoe, level 7.5 almost, that Lash back to Fountain. Could think and consider about his first rotation, or the stacks we see there on our screen could come and clear through them as RR has built up beautiful bank in that dire jungle and gets a D-ward.
What just happened?
Oh, that rotation from Yoe got scouted. Timbersaw popping the Mango. He needs another one. Oh, gets burned.
There's the mana burn and the Void. Nice stun from Yoe as well, clear through Afterlife, while Storm Spirit is stealing a couple of those stacks that the Warlock had been picking up.
That was very costly that he popped 2 Mangoes, died, and now Lashrak can go for a rune, can try to invade enemy triangle, see if there are any stacks there. Also, free bounty, why not take it?
Oh, thank you very much. And this is very scary, right? We were talking about how the late game, the panel was mentioning this Execration side dragging the game out, look incredibly good with this AM, the Nyx, the Lashrak up against this Radiant team.
Oh, Lorinov does not find the rune.
Oh,
yeah, go back to your talk, Gary. I'll answer the question.
Nico is TPing up. Yeah, when does Gambit really want to try and hit their stride? Is it around a Storm item timing, the Armored Lifestealer? What's the game plan?
Problem is Timber is getting shut down. He's not gonna feel comfortable playing into Lash because it's mixed damage. It's mixed magical and physical damage. two supports, they're really not that good at rotating. Lion is okay-ish, but Enchantress mostly focusing on the laning stage. Storm Spirit always gonna need to be careful. One rotation from AniMajor. Bam. Mana Void, you can kill him, plus one extra hero. Potentially need to be very careful about it. Nico on the bottom lane after finishing the mana boost, going into Road of Aethos against Storm Spirit, against the Timber Saw. That's just going to be a really, really good item. Something that we don't see. Teams taking the safe lane tower.
Oh, Storm! Easy sets it up, he's not even level 6 yet, just double stun under that vision. The Dire Ward scouts the Storm as he was trying to farm, and they've shut him down tremendously. At least Afterlife is going to be able to claim a tower up top as well, so structures, they're starting to fall here.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
They got 2 towers, so at least that's something good going for them.
Little by little, they can build up some kind of net worth for themselves. And Lifesteal is going to have a pretty good timing on his item build anyway. Armlet potentially back into a bit more damage. The S&Y could be coming out for him.
AniMajor can't farm the jungle. The jungle is stacked, so he can't clear those camps. Needs to be in the lane. Lashrak, one of the better heroes to just overall clear creeps around the outpost. I think that needs to be fixed in the next patch, where Dire has a much bigger advantage in terms of that. Like, you can farm those 2 camps easily, and exactly what Lashrak does.
Yeah.
He's there and will farm it.
The proximity of those camps, so nice for Medusa, for Lashrak, for Gyro, all these heroes. Clear through them at ease, and that's going to put him over 5,000 net worth, like 5.2k. So he's going to be sitting on that Yule Scepter now, 10 minutes in. He'll have it about 10:30. And this is a good time for him to go and smoke around with the Nyx Assassin, who's also at level 6. So he'll have Vendetta to scout, start things off, and Yoe can look for these early pickoffs. And Storm Spirit is an ideal candidate to go and grab, because like we've been saying, they need the Storm Lifestealer to get the ball rolling. As Emergent, he'll chain stun the Lashrak, but he's going to get found here by the AM and the Nyx Assassin. Lion will hand over his life to Palos. Ooh,
And they want to give kill to Palos, but it's going to take away what? He's going to live.
Lion's going to juke away from this one. I mean, BDZ, there's the stun, takes the kill away from AM, but a bit of miscommunication coming through from Execration, maybe. And this allows a bit of time now for Gambit to get into mid lane. Catapult wave, shove into the tier 1. And Nico forced to stand his ground and defend it. A wrap around from Yoe though. Lorinov can ball lightning. He doesn't get it off in time. He yawls in a split earth. They're going to catch the Storm Spirit out with a chain stuns. Perfectly timed. And Lorinov, it felt like he should have seen that one coming.
He faked Warlock ulti just to show that they're not there. We're not trying to kill you. And they actually do it. Now, Yule Scepter done on Lashrak. Storm Spirit, he's not going to have a game.
No.
I see his item build. He decided to go for Kaya, thinking about a BKB.
Oh.
No matter what you get at this point, like, it's just not going to feel good. You need something that gives you mana. I wouldn't mind the Orchid Rush into BKB. Into Linken's possibly, but you know, this is something that he can only dream of in this game, because things are really not going well for him.
It's one of those difficult spots where you commit to the treads and you're thinking, wait, if I'd not gone treads and Orchid rushed, maybe I would be in a better position.
It's just too many counters. He had a good start. Now Lashrak rushing that Yule Scepter. Great setup for either him or Nyx Assassin playing into AM, who has Battle Fury finished. 12 minutes in, no boots, has a band of Elven skin, so pretty damn good timing.
Yeah, and we're looking at these towers fall. You know, you mentioned the 2 side lanes going down early. Lauren off bottom, turnaround stun with a finger of death in Yoe. Destroyed by Immersion, baiting out the Lauren off Storm and guarding him with his life. But in come the Fatal Bomb to the goal. Great rock drop on the Storm Spirit. He's sussed up as well, so he's going to get taken down by the Bloodseeker. RR picks up the final touch as Immersion under this tower. He's ruptured up, and the Golem just whacks him into the ground as a double for the Warlock.
Unfortunately for them, Lashrak died, but they got a clean-up crew. Afterlife. They should be skill on Warlock.
He wants RR, but there's a carapace from BDZ, and the stun out will hold that Timbersaw back. Yeah, the fact that this Storm Spirit now is being dumpstered pretty hard by Execration means you're going to be missing out on those Lifestealer Infest bombs. Timbersaw didn't have a terrific start to his game, so he's not applying that same amount of pressure out on the map as a target for them to go on. And AM, he's freely farming.
Execration draft is well-rounded. They have good early game, they have counters to the enemy heroes. You're never gonna feel comfortable against Rupture. As a Life Stealer, as a Timber Saw, you have this mixed damage coming up from land.
Oh no. See ya. BZZ shredded.
BZZ
is under attack.
second kill still. It's not like I'm counting, but
Radiant's
you know,
bottom tower
this is the
has
second
fallen.
one that I noticed.
What's his item going to be then? If he's grabbed up a couple of kills, what's he buying on that next assassin?
I see a Yule Scepter queued up, already has that staff. I also wouldn't mind seeing a Force Staff, just to be able to push people out of the trouble. You
Radiant's
get
bottom
the value out of it,
tower is
especially
under
against the
attack.
Life Stealer, Storm Spirit jump.
Dire's top
Kaya
tower
done
is
on
under
Storm,
attack.
going into BKB, definitely needs a defensive item. Like,
sure.
they don't have the best Roche taking lineup, so he can't get away with that. You know, maybe pick up the Aegis, then go for a different item build. It's just not going to happen this game.
It's very much a right here, right now. We need to start transitioning ourselves into team fight shape.
Infest bomb available if they want to go for it, but I feel like teams and players got better at using Infest. It's not all about that bomb, it's more about the save that you get from the Infest.
Oh yeah, using it in a team fight. We saw it in that series where RTW was jumping into Kuroki's Ancient Apparition to save him from any ganks. Radiant's scanning, but it's just on the very edge of AniMajor where he was farming, and he's cleared the triangle. So he gets away from immersion, makes sure that there's no jump onto the AM.
You have a win condition for Execration. You don't need to go greedy with the items. Leshrac not going Boots of Travel, which I really like. Just wants to be able to fight with the team. Sanj, like Kaya Sanj is okay.
So
BKB is also okay. I prefer Kaya and Sanj in this situation. But yeah, Boots of Travel would be relatively greedy considering you have AM in the team. So you got that covered. You also have a relatively good scaling hero coming out from the offlane with the Bloodseeker.
And you've got to know that the way back into this from Gambit is with those Lifestealer bombs, so if you play as 5, you're not susceptible to being jumped. Group up together and stick and play together around that top tier 1. It should be a simple, systematic maneuver here from Execration, and that's how they've got to play. No need to be rushing around doing anything crazy, just play your heroes, cast your spells, move around the map as a solid unit, and force Gambit if they want to react to you.
AniMajor going for Manta style. I would prefer if this is SNY more than Manta. I've seen that quite often.
Okay.
Follow. The thing, he has nothing to dispel.
Make the jump. That's a nice blow up on the next assassin.
I guess
BZZ. That's BZZ and BDZ, right? They're grabbing all the kills. And Chantress and Nyx getting themselves up on the board.
We'll see what AM decides to go for, because there's nothing to dispel. Like, he can't really dispel a single thing. Doesn't care too much about the Enchantress. It's all about that status resistance when you're playing against land. Manta gives you more kill potential. You blink on someone, Manta style, burn mana faster. We'll just see what he decides to go for.
Lion. He's dropped. Yoic, that Leshrac just outputs so much damage.
Yowie has been
Shining star.
Shining star pretty much in the Season 2 for Southeast Asia region. For Season 1, it was Yopaj, and Yowie, he is just doing a lot of things in this game. After horrible start, you said Storm Spirit had double his CS.
Yeah.
And now he's back in the action. He's sitting at 1,500 gold on top of him.
Yeah, he is. Nice little lead down to catch up to mid lane. Afterlife going to try and chain away. I couldn't finish him off through that hood, and the plate mail is grabbed up, so a tanky Timbersaw now. We're also seeing the Bloodseeker go Palos. The Storm Spirit's on the AM. We're used to seeing the AM killing off the Storm, but he's now running out of mana on Lorenoff. The double damage rune's still going. And no real follow through for him.
He should be careful. A couple of right clicks plus ulti could make a big play, turnaround play.
Well, yeah, this Bloodseeker, what is he going? Like Arcane Boots, Hood into Rod of Atos. He's going full utility on this Bloodseeker. So he's going to have the catch onto the Storm, which it might be lacking a little bit outside of the Lash Yules and that Nyx Assassin catch you were mentioning.
You still never feel comfortable playing into AM. Your mana is gone. If he doesn't die, can easily just blink in and get the big mana void. Decide to go for the Manta style in the end.
I'm a big fan of Warlock saving 2,000 gold as well. He's got
Hand of Midas, Gary. Is it time?
That's what I was wondering, man. I was looking at him thinking, oh, I know this situation all too well. Warlock's one of my favorite heroes.
I've been here multiple times.
Like Solar, guys, do we need Solar Crest? I don't really want to Solar Crest my anti-mage. I want a Hand of Midas.
But what if you get Hand of Midas into Solar Crest? You get it not that faster, but then you get like another item.
The acceleration is there. I might even be thinking about like Midas into the Aghanim Shard. Get that nice Shadow Word going. The Shadow Word talent's real nice as well.
Bottom tower is under attack.
So much heal and sustain from your Warlock. As Execration take the bottom portion of the map now, jungle all controlled up, even scanning Roshan to make sure that Gambit aren't sneaking into that pit for an Aegis. It's a pretty balanced, even game though, you know, 8 kill difference, but Gambit are keeping competitive in terms of net worth. Lifestealer's up there, nearly at the anti-mage's level, and they do move into Roche after the scan was used. So maybe unexpected here, as Execration completely out of position and no way for them to really contest this.
They don't know this is happening at the moment, so it's gonna be good. A Stormford needs to get it. Stormford needs to pick it up. The best Aegis carrier in the game.
Give that to Lauren off, absolutely. BZG gonna move out of the pit, see if he can spot anyone coming, but no. Execration unaware of that Aegis being taken, and now it is dead even in terms of net worth, but Aegis advantage for Gambit.
Gary, I know these mid players. Do you think he's gonna switch to Kaya Sanj? Because he is holding on to Aegis. Just simple.
On the Storm?
On the Storm. Simple yes or no.
What about Bloodstone?
No. He needs to upgrade the Ogre Axe.
Oh, I see, sorry.
BKB or Kaya Sanj.
No, he's going to go BKB. I think I trust Laura enough to make the rational decision.
That's rational, but knowing Dota players, I think he might go for it. Let's see if he gets a kill.
It looks like he will be able to grab Nico there, and the golem dropped on their heads though, but the Finger of Death finishes off the Bloodseeker. The AM jumps in, takes out the Aegis immediately. Dream in a spot upon the now, turns onto Yoane. They've got a lot of damage, the physical shred through. Well, that's right down and out, as Storm Spirit will ball lightning off to the side towards Warlock, but Gambit able to reset here potentially, but under the stun, Bloodlight gets the Dream Lifesteal, I catch him with Palos, anti-mage clears through him, but Storm makes the secondary jump. Nice heal, sustain coming through for the AM as Afterlife holds his ground, and Nico, let's see if we can chase this one, he misses out the Timber Chain, AM wants back in, they find their 4th kill, it's actually a 5-man wipe, including that Aegis, as Execration needed 2 heroes and 1 buyback.
Like, imagine if Flashrack used his abilities in that fight with the Fatal Bonds. Stormspirit just dies immediately, and you lost the Aegis. You can't afford to get Kaya and Sanj. You need to get that BKB.
Yeah, absolutely. Desperate need of that BKB. And what was that? A buyback from Bloodseeker. Lesh died, but you get 4 kills plus the Aegis. So yeah, 5 kills all in all. And Gambit, once again on the back foot, forced to retreat to their side of the map. And Stormspirit hiding in the trees as Execration close in around Lorinov. BDZ, Yoe, onto the tier 1 tower.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Let's see if they can spot out the Storm or any of these other Radiant heroes coming in. Storm makes a little half jump forward. BZZ front lines a little bit, but it's Execration retreating once more. Back to their triangle, gather up the safe farm on the map.
They should feel very confident going into mid and late game with their lineup. Flashrack scales well, anti-mage doesn't necessarily need to be strong and carry the carry matchup. They can deal with him later on. Just be able to blow up Storm Spirit and the supports, and then go back in and finish off the Lifestealer.
AM gets complete free time down bottom now. Batch are done. There's no real great way to catch him right now. And Lifestealer's coming down here to take out an Observer Ward, clear out the remnants of that lane remaining. And Radiant do catch a glimpse of someone with their scan around the Arcane Rune top. BZZ attempts to deny, but BDZ is there to grab it.
I gotta be careful with the Bs and the Ds.
I do. Bs and Zs everywhere. Oh, kills off the neutral creep. Nice little vendetta.
Just in general, we gotta
save the bees.
Yeah, exactly. Not necessarily Gary B, but the important bees.
The important bees. Well, I don't make any honey, do I? So I'm absolutely useless. Save the bees. Something I've been watching a lot of is the people that go around like taking a swarm of bees, putting it into a new home, finding the queen, gathering them up. It's very therapeutic.
Like, that's all cool unless you're allergic to bees.
Oh,
you're
yeah.
Like, oh, no.
Don't get stung. That's some nasty stuff.
AM.
Wasp, on the other hand, Not a fan of them.
Not a fan.
They're not bees
They're really not contributing anything.
to society whatsoever.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Evil, evil little things. Well, there's the tower. Third time lucky. Execration take that tier 1 top.
Radiant's
And they are
top
playing
tower is
very
under attack.
patiently. Again, it's just that group up, stay together, make sure that no one is an obvious target for the Storm Infest bombs, and it forces Gambit to go out hunting and looking for a big team fight. There's a lot of scribbling on the map there, Lacoste. It feels like they're a little bit confused about where they want to go.
Very artistic team overall. Just, you know, while they're playing Dota, they're drawing some stuff on the minimap.
A bit of cubism, a little bit of impressionism going. But our very own Picasso's here on Gambit. BDZ Vendetta, so he'll be able to scout any smokes coming from the right-hand side. And Execration playing the fog and the tree lines. This is a nice little spread. High ground ward, the Tinker ward on the left side. And BDZ, he'll see Afterlife. Doesn't want to really kick things off on a Timber Saw. And Leshrac, the turnaround, they blow through Afterlife almost immediately. Nice yours up as well as Laurenov's BKB spent into the golem. They get the big stun in. They'll take him down. Oh, it's a beautiful catch on to Dream as well. The lifestealer and Timber Saw shredded in an instant. And Yoe still alive. They save the Leshrac, keep that magical damage going. A triple kill into that final touch onto Storm Spirit and Gambit. Left without a hope or a prayer.
Big play from Yowie. There he is waiting. He gets a stun on Timber Saw.
That's a 5 map.
Is under attack.
They're going to wipe them off the face of the map. And
Again.
Yoe comes through again.
That's another one. Yeah, he's holding on to Yule Scepter. Storm Spirit tries to jump him, understand that he is going for him. Yule Scepter while Pulse Noah plus Edict is running. He needs to back up while still dealing the damage, and this should be a free tier 2 tower. I don't want to be too negative, Gary, at the moment, but I just don't see that this lineup can win against what Execration got. It's pretty much like you had your time. This you needed to be focused on the laning stage with Lion, with the
Tempo.
Exactly, and then you kind of lost the momentum, didn't get too much out of the laning stage. Now you're...
And what's the win percentage graph like? What's the number?
It's 90%. I'm making it up right now, but I'm always close, you know.
You are always close. About 10% chance for Gambit. That's what you're giving them. Oh, hello. Oh, BDZ under a sentry. Dream not going to get caught this time around. But I think you're right. The comeback potential here for Gambit is limited.
Those 10% were really generous coming out.
Oh, yeah? More like 7, 6, 5%.
Radiant are
And I talked about the team, rest of the team not being greedy, just getting items to fight with. Leshrac, Yule Scepter done. Going into Kaya Sanj, getting a BKB. No Boots of Travel.
Oh, yeah.
I think most of the players would still want to get Boots of Travel, but since you have AM in the team, there's really no need for it.
Oh, the chain stars. Fatal Bonds. The death of Afterlife yet again. That's a dieback on him as long enough. He makes the jump towards BDZ, but they can't get a single pick off. A nice 2-man stun there and a figure of death. Finally, the line gets involved, but Dream.
That's a deep
Stuck over here with the jump from Palos. That's it. Gambit are done for. A double for Palos. BDZ's hidden invis under the Glimmer Cape. We're going to sprank off to the right-hand side, but the AM tracks back, has the Enchantress's number, gives her a little ring and says, oh, come on, that's the double damage with the first hit bash. Of course he does. Makes the jump again, and another Glimmer not going to work out. As BZZ down, and Laurenov's the last hero standing for Gambit.
I would not be surprised if they call GG once they
close.
lose like Roshan fight, which could potentially be up in the 20 seconds.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Execration, they've really nailed this one. They've got the last little nail in the coffin.
They really got a better draft overall. Like they played the lanes well. AM pick was really good in terms of like securing the farm with the Warlock and just setting him up for a really good game. It was a 12-minute Battle Fury. We're gonna come back into the game. Laurenov's dead again.
Yeah, I mean, has he got buyback? There's no buyback there for 45 seconds, so there's no Storm Spirit. BCC's trying to glimmer. Great stun again from the Lion, but we just haven't seen much from this Lion aggressively. It's always been counter initiation, reacting to what Execration have been bringing. And now you've got this Warlock with the Aghanim Shard, Shadow Word cooldown talent picked up as well. So he's going to be keeping that push and sustain going down into that Radiant base from the mid lane and the top lane as creeps are converging towards Gambit's side of the map.
Roshan is up. That means, well, it's not showing on my screen, but Roshan should be up. It's just not there. It's not in the pick. Not who's there. He's not at home.
Well, it happens sometimes if you disconnect and the timer not quite working properly. We'll see when he respawns with a little white dot in the minimap. This is prime position though for Execration. Hold the triangle. Make sure that the space is limited for Gambit. Cut out the waves.
I think Roshan needs some justice. We always kill him, kill Roshan. We never ask, like, how's Roshan? Is he doing okay?
We used to give him a party hat and a Santa hat. Also, jump in from Lorna. Oh, the smite will get there. The Hex coming through onto the Bloodseeker 2. The chain storms onto him, but they turn back with the AM. Carlos is cruising through these heroes, and the perfect stun setup gives him a double kill. Afterlife is next. Dream is going to be dealt with pretty quickly by Path. A triple for your AM, and GG is called. Just like you said, it was coming after maybe one more fight, and the AM's turn to get an ultra kill.